Hey, good morning, and how are you guys doing today? I hope amazing. So today we'll be picking up where we left off actually this Wednesday. We're on the second round of revisions. I'm in chapter one, and I'm going to let you know what happened. Um, I started reworking this, adding a little bit more of the flair of magic and stuff like that in, some more details and stuff. I got down here. I literally have an issue with the dialogue, and I'm gonna just be honest. The issue was something I didn't have the ability to wrap my mind around how I was going to work, like what I wanted them to actually say. I didn't know what I wanted them to say. I did know for a fact I didn't feel it like was what I wanted though. That's here right now, and so we'll be taking another swing at that. Really, all I want to have is a little bit of improvement in the banter of their whole goodbye. And honestly, I kind of think we need to have a little bit of foreboding of, hey, you're heading out into a dangerous galaxy, so it's not just like, oh, hey, I'm moving planet side, blah blah blah, right? Um, I'm still in and I was just getting chat up. I apologize for that. I should have said, okay, blah blah. Look distracted probably there. Um, my issue is I just don't like the dialogue. I'm liking everything else, like that we've got fixed up here above here, right? I do need to have a moment where I think either Bree slips away or something like that. I'm not sure if I added that in. Um, before he does talk with Elena. Let's just be honest. I I'll fix this. We'll move to chapter two. Chapter two, I know I don't think I have things that I need to change in chapter two at all. I think we might want to make Sarah a little more endearing. Well, chapter two, we have things we could change there. We're trying to up magic aliens, nanite, the AI, atmospherics, and the virus. And honestly, I probably shouldn't even have got caught up with the fact that I didn't like their dialogue, because I hadn't even thought of dialogue corrections and stuff like that, like where I wanted to do those. I'm gonna say dialogue corrections from here on out are gonna be on revision three with the sentence fixing, because I hadn't been really messing with that in the same way, and I don't want to be messing with dialogue if it's just the issue is that, oh, I think I could have worded that right in a different way. I think that that's wording. I think that all goes to revision three, and I think we try to keep this separated out because I don't want to get bogged down on revision two to the point that revision two takes longer than writing the frickin' book. You know what I mean? That's absolutely not okay. Um, let's go back up here. I'm going to start working on this. I do really hope you guys are having a great week. I'm having a absolutely crazy good week. Um, we're going to add this as a planet because can I tell you, some of the stuff I know is going to happen in book two, right? Like, I'm pretty sure I'm going to have Elena die, just so you guys know. I mean, not, I don't know why my computer's either slow today or, okay, there. Boom, boom. Um, I just realistically that's probably going to happen. So I'm going to click this because this planet's going to come up later on. I haven't decided who in book two is going to basically. Well, I don't want to give away too much. You guys don't even know the ending of this, so let's go locations. Morris, Morius. I don't know how that would be said actually. You guys, you know that. Morias? Morias? I think it's Morias. Who knows? Wait, is it? Uh, Want to get this added in. Okay, so we've got Moas. Oh, I'm gonna have to add a whole lot more of this crap in. We've done the. Okay, we're gonna go back here. Obviously, you guys know the backstory about the throwdown and stuff like that, right? Probably should mess with this scene. Like this scene stuff up here, you know, where it's like, hey, scene. I didn't mess with the scene stuff at any point. I'm actually not really sure what that does with this writing program, just to be honest, you guys. Oh, I remembered what I needed to fix. We needed him not to just ditch out on his buddy Brandon the way he did last night. Okay, so let's fix the ditch out on his friend the way we had him ditch out. Cause like I really don't feel I covered that well. Okay. I sat listening to Brandon's latest tales. I'll read it for you guys. Hey, good morning, Son X. I sat listening to Brandon's latest tales from his travels when I looked over to see Elena standing with her friends, looking amazing. That's when I noticed Bree looking at me. She was goddess-like, with a slender. I'm pretty sure I need another comma in there. Goddess-like, comma with a slender. Yeah, we do. We do. Let me reread this with this. Let's see. That's when I noticed Bree looking at me. She was goddess-like, with a slender, athletic body and long black hair. Bree was a telepath and a powerful green witch, known to use seductive magic and allurements. I had always been attracted to her, but she had just caught me staring at Elena, and would know I still had feelings for her. Dun, dun, dun. Let's fix that. We're not even caring about this part. Where's Brandon? Did we literally just go right from we're listening to Brandon and we just get caught up and transfixed with this girl? That is what we did. Okay. Okay. You know, guys, I'm gonna let you know I feel I've put our main character in a situation where he would have really just like ditched out on his friends because here's what we have going on, right? So I'm not going to fix this because it's not something that might need fixed. So let me go through this. Okay. Bree must have been playing a game with Elena. Okay, must have also been playing a game with Elena because she came over and started talking to me about old times and how she hoped I was doing well. I worked to hide the fact I had already taken bliss, blah, blah, blah. So soon things were a blur. And Bree, Elena, and I found out. See, you know what? We're not fixing that. I mean, minus I don't like the wording on a lot of that. Like, legit, he went out with Brandon, right? They freaking scored some stuff. They went and did the stuff. Then he bumps into the ex-girlfriend, and her buddy. The stuff kicks in, and boom, He just finds himself back there. And so we don't need to fix anything because literally that's within reason of something that really could happen. I mean, it's not like hey, where did his friend go? Like he ditched his friend, right? Okay, we'll just deal with that later on in our writing. We'll mention something about it or something. Okay, so all of this I'm happy with. Oh, this is where it all came crashing down, guys, right here. Okay. Finally, the tension was cut. Sam, I can't do this anymore. Wait, do this. I actually think that this is a non-restrictive or some crap like that, where we go like this, right? Sam, I can't do. Ooh, actually, I have this wrong too. I think it's Sam, comma, actually. Sam, I can't do this. No, I won't do this. I think that's correct right there. Just to be honest, a little bit excessive in my mind, but whatever. Okay. Oh, is this him? Hold on. Okay, blah blah blah. Okay, so here's what I just want to do. I don't want to get crazy trying to fix this section because, in all honesty, it doesn't need a ton. I just don't like the dialogue. I don't feel that there's any alluding to the hey, blah blah blah, it's dangerous out there, or anything like that. Do we need it for sure? Honestly, I don't know. I'm gonna drink a little coffee. Still 5:13 in the morning, and let's figure out what the crap we're doing with this section. Finallys are always with the thing. Finally, the tension was cut. Sam, I can't do this. No, I won't do this. That's girly about. I need to let you know. Comma. I need to let you know. This actually, too Morius would have a thing too. Jeez, I'm being brutal with the commas in here. I'm leaving. I'm moving. Yep, that all is like that. Boom. Okay. Okay, I'm gonna retort her in here, and then we're gonna have her start for the door. Then he's gonna rush to his feet. Say this other crap, right? I know how I didn't have it. I had thought she was about. Okay, he's gonna be a jerk here. I'm just teasing. I'll be fine. We'll get through this. We'll get through it together, you guys. Let's see. My only thoughts were in panic as I sharply replied, so I'm gonna have him say a ass thing. Hey, thank you very much, Beta Boy. I hope you're having a great morning. So what would be a jerk? Hey, I'm just being a total jerk. I mean, I'm not wanting him to be like a moron necessarily, but let's just be honest. We're not gonna have him say what he should say here, right? We're gonna have him be a dumbass right here. So I've got to think um of what kind of asshat thing could be said here. That it's realistic. Like a guy really would be like, where you're lashing out, kind of pissed off, but like you say something you shouldn't have probably said. So I would like to accomplish that here. Yeah, let's think. I'm wanting him to be a jerk here, but not. I'm not really sure what I would say in a jerk mood, like in this situation. And I'm just being honest here. Like, I know realistically somebody could be like, oh, you're moving away. And you know what I mean? But that's what we need to capture. The whole, oh, you're moving away, sharp comment, blah, blah, blah. Do I have that sharp comment currently in my mind? Not really working on it though. So, so basically he's going to say that's great. Okay. So jerk comment here, guys. You know what? I don't really like that. It sounds pathetic and desperate. Never seeing each other again. I'm gonna. Hold on, guys. I'm trying to. Oh, I forgot. Mm, I'm really, really struggling with this snippety comment, guys. And I'll just admit that I'm struggling it. I can envision, you know, kind of that somebody would do something snappity, but when it comes down to knowing what I would say if I were like reacting this way, I'm not actually sure. Or what Sam would say for for realistic terms, because not really the same person, by a long ways. So, let me think. We'll do some yoga breathing thought stuff or something. Mm, Oh, guys, what the heck? That's fantastic. Okay. And this could seriously change because I really don't want him to be cringy, clingy. You know what I mean? But I do kind of feel this is a little clingy, woo woo. That's fantastic. Just like when we were dating. Comma. You're making. I'm. Yeah, that's too woo-woo-y for me. So let's go somewhere in the middle on this, right? Let's think this through. I'm trying to not to make Sam a little pathetic, grovelly. Oh, blah blah, Elena, why would you move away, person? Because I don't picture him that way. Um, okay, that's fantastic. So why? Okay, okay, boom, boom. We're gonna go one, two. I think I have it fixed. Phil, this was a little biffy, but I'm gonna go over it. We might have actually fixed this. That took way longer than it should have, but it is what it is. Why is Elena not showing up under? Is Elena not in here? Oh, because she's not under just Elena. She's under her full name. Boom, guys, we fixed it. Yay. Okay. Hold on one second, then I'll get down to that other section and we'll fix it. I think we might have actually just got chapter one pseudo finished. Okay, finally the contention was cut. Sam, I don't think I can do this. No, I won't do this. I need to let you know I'm leaving. I'm moving planet site. You know what? We'll leave that right now. We're not doing the wordage right this one anyway. Tomorrow, yes, that's what it does. I had not been ready for what she had. Oh yeah, no, I had not been ready for what she had to say. Had. I'm not liking that. I had not been ready for what she had said in any way. This would be a comma at minimum. I had not been ready for what she had said. I'll fix it like this. I had not been ready for what she had to say in any way. I don't really feel this adds crap to it. Okay, boom. My only thoughts were in panic as I sharply. Okay, as I sharply stated, that's fantastic. The galaxy's a dangerous place, so why wouldn't you choose to move away where I can't watch over you? Okay, so that's a little woo-woo-y. I'm willing to palate that though. Sam, I'm not your problem. Boom. That's pretty extreme, right? Nobody likes that snappity. Elena replied. This would be like this. See, boom. Sam, I'm not your problem. Elena replied as she started for the door. You know what? Boom, boom. I rushed to my feet, saying, "Look, it was really nice to see you again. I still think about you all the time." Boom. That is kind of woo-woo pathetic, but okay, I'm happy with the rest of this right now. I mean, the dialogue's not perfect, but let's go over this. I rushed to my feet, saying, "Look, it was really nice to see you again, and I still think about you all the time." Elena smiled, then said, "I think about you too, Sam. That's part of why I'm leaving." Elena opened the door. Let me read this because I don't actually remember what it said. It's been a while since we've been here. Okay, Elena opened the door, saying, "Sam, I really hope you get yourself together one day. If you can't, I think we're good here." Okay, so this is the I watched as she walked away, searching for the right words to say. But I was searching for the right words to say up here, my brother. I feel you. But there were none. None that could fix this. I sat only for a second before moving to the window overlooking the walkways of the corridors below, just in time to watch as she came out, making her way slowly out of sight. Boom. Fix this crap. Emotion spiked. Boom. You know what? I'm gonna leave it with the he's gonna state he's gonna get his crap together. Um, okay with that. How many words is that? That's 1,000 words for that chapter. That's reasonable. Let's fix chapter 2, or at least start on it, right? Geez, we got a lot of work, guys. Like, how many chapters do we have? Some unknown amount. A lot. A lot of chapters. Just joking. It's not that many. Okay, deep breath again. Let's start chapter 2. This time, we're remembering we're only doing what we're doing for revision 2 type stuff. So magic, alien details, nanites, the AI, atmospherics, and the virus and stuff like that. That's all we're trying to upgrade. I even got rid of this thing that I was gonna add into it, but I was like, nah, too much stuff, guys. I don't want to deal with that. Okay, so dialogue's around 3. We're not gonna fix all the dialogue. If the dialogue says what it's supposed to say, but just doesn't sound perfect, the wording crap, that's a round 3 fix. That's not a gotta quit fixing crap that we're not trying to fix. Okay, I quickly got myself around to take a shower. The water flowing over me. Okay, quickly got myself around to take a shower. The water flowing over me was rejuvenating and gave me time to gather my thoughts. That would just be a wording issue. I stood there thinking about how broke I was since quitting my job. I had only. See, this is horrible wording. I stood. Did he stood? Yeah, he's in a shower. I stood there thinking. Okay, don't worry, I'm just fixing this stuff. I know. Okay, maybe I have it fixed. I stood there as the water flowed over me, thinking about how broke I was since quitting my job. I had only the occasional odd gig to make credits. Yeah, I'm okay with that. I knew I wanted to get myself together, thinking I'm going to have. Oh, thinking I'm going to have one last hurrah with my friends. I'm going to take that out of actual dialogue right there, and let's change up some of this. This is gonna change out of being a quote type thing. Trying to figure out how I'm about to change this. This is about to be a pretty significant change probably in here. I only had, okay, I had only the occasional or odd gig to make credits, none of them paying. There, sorry about that. I had only the occasional odd gig to make credits, none of them paying very well. That's what we want to say. Click, 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 click. This is stuff we're not supposed to be doing on this revision, too. I did want to get myself together. Okay, I stood there as the water flowed over me, thinking, oh, see, that would be a comma, thinking about Elena leaving and how broke I was since quitting my job. I had only the occasional odd gig to make credits, none of them paying very well. I did want to get myself together and had been planning on eventually. Okay, so that I'm cool with. I thought about who all would want to hang out, especially knowing. Okay, so this is where we're going to fix this. I want to make sure I still have sound, just because sometimes it just poofs. And then sometimes you guys tell me, and sometimes I'm just sitting here thinking I'm talking. hmm It's only happened once like that, but you guys are trustworthy. You guys tell me, but you know. Okay, I did want to get myself together and had been planning on eventually. Okay, and so this we're going to keep the same. Hmm. Okay, so this is the whole thing, right? He's planning on quitting. If any of you guys know anything about addiction, though, and I mean, I'm not an addiction expert, so I'm not speaking as some kind of like formally trained, I'm an addiction expert, just for the record. But in reality, um, when you are addicted to stuff and stuff like that, sometimes you'll be like, I'm gonna quit. And your plan for quitting is a genius plan of getting a whole bunch of that thing that you do so you can have one last. big bash, hurrah type thing. Seriously. Um, in which you don't quit most of the time, I'm sure. I mean, I don't have data on it, but you know what I'm talking about. So that's the situation where he does, in his mind, think, oh, I'm going to quit. But in reality, he's just going to go score a bunch of stuff and do it. I want to be forthcoming with that. I don't use the word hurrah. Is it hoorah? Hoorah? Like that? Would that be it? Is that the right word? Who knows? Okay, let's see if this works. Is that an 8? I feel that they're 10. Okay. I thought it was 8 for a new paragraph, but I must be wrong. Okay, quickly I got myself around to take a shower. The water flowed over me. The water flowing over me was rejuvenating and gave me time to gather my thoughts. Okay, so this water flowing over me part we're not going to mention twice, so that we're going to just go there like this. I stood there thinking about Elena leaving and how broke I was since quitting my job. I had only the occasional odd gig to make credits, none of them paying very well. I did want to get myself together and had planned on eventually. That eventually was now, though, and I knew I needed to quit. I made a plan to score a good amount of bliss and have one last big hurrah, then go totally sober. I thought about who all would want to hang out, especially knowing it was going to be my last time. Reasonable, right? Okay. I did not have enough credits. Okay. I did not have enough credits to pay off my previous front. But then, sorry guys. But that had never stopped me before from coming up with something, some way of scoring. Yeah, well, everybody knows that rule, right? I knew someone would want to hook up enough to cover my front, which would allow me to get another front for what I wanted, and most likely a little something for myself. Wait, hold on, that doesn't make any sense. Which would allow me to get another front for what they wanted. Okay. I'm gonna be honest, the wording there is a little weird. It does say what I want, and I've decided that I really am gonna leave most of the wording adjustments for round three so that I'm not d- just spending 5 years in each section. Well, not 5 years. Honestly, this has gone smoothly. Way smoother than I thought. I wasn't sure how long it was gonna take to do this. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Okay, so this is where we're gonna get a little better creative. This section right here with Zach and Sarah, this is a prime of example of where we haven't really made it more yet, and we have definitely not peppered it with the backstory. So y'all know that we're gonna kill Zach and Sarah later on in the book, and if you don't know that yet, now you do. I apologize. Um, we don't. Sam doesn't. The galaxy itself does. Okay, I mean it not really in an incarnate form, but I mean basically they die. So no death is really super valuable if it doesn't. I mean, like some deaths don't matter; they're just fodder. But you know, on a death like this, we would prefer if it elicits some kind of emotional response. And I'm just gonna be honest. And so, um, what we're gonna do is try to find a couple spots in this book before they die to slightly upgrade their likability, uh, just because we get more bang for the buck when they die if we've done that. I mean, like, if you guys are like, oh, I really thought nicely of those people, and then all of a sudden, boom, 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 they're fodder at the side of the road, it has much more value than like if I just drop a name in here like once or twice and then all of a sudden I'm like, and Bobby got killed. And you're like, oh no, Bobby, the guy from chapter what that was mentioned once. And so, I mean, that's my thoughts on it. It's not like, but let's try to upgrade this a little bit. So I'm gonna read through it, then we'll figure out some ways to improve this a little bit, if that sounds like a plan. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Zach and Sarah had their own addiction. See, that's probably not where to start it. So we'll kick the addiction a little bit further down, honestly. Let's not have that be the first thing we say there. Let's make up some crap to go between there that's positive. Zach, Zach and Sarah had their own addiction, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining an almost normal life. Okay. Um. Okay, so we're gonna have Zach as a personal trainer. Let's go to Zach and go. Geez, we got lots of stuff. Okay. Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out. I'm sorry, guys. I got caught up trying to figure out what I think is my issue here. Add this in. Amper. Would that be an object item? Item Okay. Okay, so let's identify stronger plus faster with more endurance, right? Y'all feel that good on that? I do too. Boom. Now Amper won't show up as a weird thing. Okay, so we're going to mention Sarah's healing ability in here. Okay. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah was a healer. Don't worry, I'm going to fix all this. Because this might not all be in the right order. And so, let's just be honest. This, for a second, it's going to seem like a chaos tragedy. And then all of a sudden, we'll have another chapter done. Maybe. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. That's just wording. I'm going to not touch that right now. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work in the arcane district. Okay, so watch this. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, we're going to grab this. I'm going to go like boom, boom, drop it there. Don't worry. I'll fix all this in a second. Gonna drop that out of there. Boom, boom. Okay. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Zach and Sarah had their own addiction, so we're gonna get something between here. Don't worry. Before this, so something's still going in here that's gonna more endear them, but we've got a little bit more stuff. I already have Sarah being a healer, I believe. Yeah, Sarah's a magical healer, so we're not worried about that. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Zach and Sarah had their own addiction, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining an almost normal life. We'll leave that like that. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work in the arcane district of the station. Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out using Amper to maximize his gains, getting a rush from pushing himself. Okay, watch this. And I know that that was more of a sentence fixing than anything. Let me see if we. Okay. Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved working out using Amper to get a rush from pushing himself and maximizing his gain. I don't like it. I'm gonna just be honest. I'm not like loving that. It does say after a workout, he and Sarah. Okay. We're gonna have to remember that we're making this dude big at this point. Okay. So Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out using Amper to get a rush from pushing himself. Okay, so we're just gonna get this out. Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out using Amper to push himself and maximize his gains. After a workout, Sarah would often heal him to counter some of the damage Zack would do during his. Okay. Hey, you know what? I think we've got the. Oh. Okay, ready? And I've still got to put the sentence up here that's gonna make this not weird. Where we jump into they had their own addictions. So it's gonna be the sentence where he introduced them. So we'll just realize that um, he was friends with Sarah and then met Zach and introduced them or some crap like that. I mean, we're gonna write that in there, so it's gonna be true after that moment. So do we want to just write it in there right now and then we'll read it? I know what we're writing, right? Okay, Sarah had been friends with me for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. Okay, let's see if we fixed something. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been. You know what? We're not doing the wording part right now, so I need to quit doing that, right? What am I doing? Sarah had been, I really, I'm gonna fix it that way. Possessive. Sarah had been my friend for a couple years before. Do we want had before I had introduced her? Before I introduced her to Zach. But as soon as I introduced them, they became inseparable. Okay, I'm okay with that. So let's read through this. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friend for a couple of years. Something's bugging me about it, and I don't even know what. Zach and Sarah had been my friends for a couple of years before I had introduced her. Wait, Sarah had been my friend for a couple of years before I introduced her to Zach. But as soon as I introduced them, they were inseparable. Zach and Sarah had their own addictions, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining an almost normal life. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work in the arcane district of the station. Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out, using Amper to push himself and maximize his gains. After working out, Sarah would often heal him to counter some of the damage Zach would do during his intensive workouts, allowing him to recover faster. After Sarah would heal Zach, they would often use a little bliss to relax themselves. They were the most like ooh, okay. They were the most likely to have the money to pay off the front of bliss from track. Okay, so this part will go up to the top. Copy. Now I'm not a million percent sure I'm gonna fix this correctly. So let's not be all blown away if what I do here is not the best choice. What the frick? Okay, well I'm gonna zap that out anyways. Don't worry, we'll fix this. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friends for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. Hold on, my nose is itching like crazy, and I thought I had a Kleenex out here, but oh, I do. That's why I thought that. Sorry about that, guys. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friends for a couple of years before I introduced her to Zach. But as soon as I introduced them, excuse me, but as soon as I introduced them, they became inseparable. Zach and Sarah had their own addictions, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining an almost normal life. I think we can just say they were planning or they planned. They were planning or they planned. Okay, I think. Okay, they planned on getting contracted each other through. Okay, they were planning on getting contracted to each other through marriage and had been dating for 2 years while working to save the credits, the required credits. Okay. Not having an issue with that. Okay, they were always. I'm gonna put their name in here again. Okay, Zach and Sarah were always willing to hang out, often having a fresh meal to share. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work, you know, the meal part. I'm kind of wanting to make it better, but I'm not a. Okay, I think I have it. Who knows? We'll find out. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friends for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. But as it, but as soon as I introduced, but as soon as I introduced them, really don't like that. Okay, Sarah had been my friend for a couple years. I think we're gonna go with and in here. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friend for a couple years. Bef- Why am I hating this? I don't know if any of you guys are feeling this sentence is just. I know we're not on sentence fixing, but it's bugging me. So my OCD has took over a little bit. Okay, Sarah had been my friend for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. Okay, my first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friend for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. Mm, I don't use awkward very often as a word, obviously. Okay, though the introduction was at first awkward, they hit it off and became inseparable. I feel that that's good. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. Sarah had been my friend for a couple years before I introduced her to Zach. Though the introduction was at first awkward, they hit it off and became inseparable. Zach and Sarah had their own addictions, including bliss, but managed to keep themselves together, staying employed and maintaining an almost normal life. They were planning on getting contracted to each other through marriage and had been dating for the last 2 years while working to save the required credits. Zach and Sarah were always willing to hang out, and Sarah loved cooking, so there was often a meal offered. Sarah was a healer, allowing her to work in the arcane district of the station. Do I want just a and Zach worked? Zach worked as a personal trainer and loved to work out using Amper to push himself and maximize his gains. After a workout, that's when we put that. After a workout, comma, Sarah would often heal. Okay, Sarah would often heal Zach to counter some of the damage he would do during his intensive workouts, allowing him to recover faster. After Sarah would heal Zach, They would often use a little bliss to relax themselves. They were the most likely to have the money to the pay off the front of bliss from Trag. Boom. So we're all happy with that. I am too. Super happy. I super need to stretch. Oh, I'm gonna just let you guys know that felt so good that I probably need to definitely do yoga today or something. Oh, interesting. I'm trying to look over this and I'm trying to think if I like the order of it at all. I don't like the order of it is the problem. Let me look over the situation. Yoga's so good for you. I'm gonna tell you guys, when I'm taking a yoga class, I really do feel super like better, healthy, everything. Like I'm not currently in a yoga class, which bugs me a little bit. I do try to do yoga on my own a little though, just because it's super good for you and stuff. Plus, if you get good at yoga breathing techniques and stuff like that, you can chill yourself out sometimes. Sometimes you just like need to recenter yourself and that's legit. Like, yeah, that's about it. Okay, let me think about what I'm doing here because we might be at a situation where I actually have to figure out what I'm doing here. This chapter isn't poofy enough. I mean, I'd like to get it at least to 900 words. 150 more words isn't a lot, but they actually have to be 150 something words that add some kind of value, not just like, let me just write 150 words in the middle of a freaking thing. You know what I mean? And I'm kind of trying to figure out if I like the order of this. For some reason, reading this whole section about Zach and Sarah, and then realizing I had arrived at the section. There's something I want to change this, guys. I'm really wanting to actually change this. Probably bigger than you guys are thinking. Change it even. Okay, so here's what I just figured out. I'm about to change some order of stuff, but I'm trying to figure out exactly what the heck first. Okay, crazy enough, if this will just do what I want, I'm going to grab this. I'm going to drop this like this. I'm going to drop that there. I've got to figure this out now. My first stop was Zach and Sarah's. I arrived at their section of the space station quicker than I expected, not providing enough time to think out fully what I would ask them. I really want to change more of this than I realized. And so now I actually really need to figure what the heck am I want to change. I like this section. Don't like this section right here. That's right, I did have to rub my eyes over that. So here's the deal. I'm not liking part of this, so I'm probably about to write some more stuff. And then we're gonna figure this out real quick. Yeah, this is about to all be reordered here, you guys. So just a second so I can figure out how we're doing this. There's a chance we're gonna mess with this even more. Okay. Let's break that out right there. Holy crap. What have I done to myself is what we ask ourselves right here. Okay, I didn't have enough credits to pay off my previous friend, but that had never stopped me before from coming up with something, some way of scoring. I knew someone would want to hook up with enough to cover my front, which would allow me to get another front for what they wanted, and most likely something for myself.